sponsoring this meeting today. Howard brought up that to message Richard, if you're a delegate, I would like to thank all the fair boards for what they've had to go through this year. I'd like to thank the OFMA board. It hasn't been easy on anybody on this board to pull off what we have this year. We're looking forward to moving into this year and having full fairs and getting back to some kind of normalcy. With that, Mackenzie Hogue, if you would, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Mackenzie, Montgomery County Fair. We're not sure Mackenzie's on, so I will go ahead and lead the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America,
to the republic which stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing we have is we will now show the Ohio Department of Agricultural presentation from Director Philanda. This is something that every fair has to meet with the ODA, and this will fulfill that requirement. Hey, Howard, they can't hear Roger. Yeah.
We cannot hear it, Rod.
There it is.
Like we said.
What? It's okay, Jess. It's all right.
Despite our incredible challenges,
Can you hear it now?
we have a lot for which we can be proud.
Yeah. Yes, so
Our
restart it.
season went
Okay.
from not even being sure if our fairs were going to happen,
Full
to most
screen.
being able to have successful junior
Okay.
fairs. Good afternoon and welcome to the annual Ohio Fairs meeting with the Ohio Department of Agriculture. I'm honored to stand before you once again as the director of the department. In my second year addressing this group, this venue looks quite different from years past. When we convened here last year, I don't think anyone could have predicted how much our lives would change over the next 12 months. This year has been a struggle. Good afternoon and welcome to the annual Ohio Fairs meeting with the Ohio Department of Agriculture. I'm honored to stand before you once again as the director of the department. In my second year addressing this group, this venue looks quite different from years past. When we convened here last year, I don't think anyone could have predicted how much our lives would change over the next 12 months. This year has been a struggle on so many levels for families, businesses, government, and our department, and most certainly our fairs. Last year at this convention, we focused on coming together. This year, there is only one path, and that path is forward. Despite our incredible challenges this year, we have a lot for which we can be proud. Our season went from not even being sure if our fairs were going to happen to most being able to have successful junior fairs. The biggest victory was that our youth got to show and sell their projects. And in a year that seemed at one point almost hopeless, we found some great successes. In 2020, of our 94 county and independent fairs, 85 had successful junior fairs. We had thousands of exhibitors who entered or showed more than 85,000 projects. And I'm proud to have been able to lift the match for our Capital Fair Improvement Grant so that all fairs could access this improvement money during this time. More than $25 million of the total $4.7 million made available has been distributed. Moving forward, these improvements will be used to enhance our fairs at a time when improvements otherwise might not be possible. And my heart is absolutely overjoyed by what happened during the Columbiana County Junior Fair in August when a boy from Kensington got his hog resold 5 times, raising $26,000 from the community to help his family pay medical bills related to his dad's cancer. All of this is exactly what I mean by the path forward. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to each and every fair for attending this annual conference. The fact that you are here means you care about the future and the quality of your fairs. I would like to thank Howard Call for his dedication and leadership. OFMA is an incredibly valuable organization. And here at ODA, we value your input, your hard work, and the strong bond that you have with your communities. Our local fairs elevate Ohio's agricultural venues to some of the best in the nation. As we work together on the path forward, I would like to pledge our support to OFMA and to each of our fairs and to keep ongoing lines of communication open and strong. We have an entire team of people ready and available to help our fairs be the best they can be. Todd Thatcher is Deputy Director and Dave Myron is Chief over our amusement ride safety and fairs stand ready to help with legislative issues, concerns, or questions. Dave Hunt, Chief of Enforcement, has gladly provided assistance to help with fair elections when he was asked. Dr. Forshee loves our fairs and is always willing to do what is necessary to work with our fairs to make sure our quality livestock competitions remain safe, fair, and disease-free. And you know my door is always open. At ODA, we are committed to working together and improving communication to achieve our common goals of safety and quality. We recognize that each of our fairs are incredibly unique in history and in community. We know that county fairs provide one of the state's most invaluable services of creating strong future leaders and food producers. As we look toward the new year and the upcoming fair season, as I said, there's only one path, and that path is forward. Thank you for all that you do for your fairs and your community. Thank you for the long hours you put in, for your innovative ideas, and for all that you contribute to make your fairs great on behalf of Ohio agriculture. In a year that has been challenging for us all, and especially for our fairs, I'm proud to honor Ohio's outstanding fair supporters. I would like to thank those fairs that participated this year, and I would like to thank all of the volunteers who helped to make our fairs great. Thank you for rising up, as you always do, to make the best out of a situation and to provide some of the best hands-on experience for our future food producers and for our many youth who participate in projects. I am proud to award the Director's Award of Innovation and Excellence to the following outstanding fair supporters who were nominated this year. Without any further delay, I'm honored to announce our winners. Mark Wirtz of the Ashland County Fair, Bill Martin of the Attica Independent Fair, Dana King, DVM of the Clark County Fair, Bears Concessions of the Claremont County Fair, Robin Ouellette of the Columbiana County Fair, Tom Pressler of the Crawford County Fair, Paul Shoemaker of the Gallia County Fair, David Cook of the Hamilton County Fair, Janie and Dick Sealer of the Hardin County Fair, Darren Young of the Harrison County Fair, Pat Coy of the Huron County Fair, Gerald Criswell of the Marion County Fair, Judy Trissel of the Miami County Fair, John Baker of the Monroe County Fair, Don Michael of the Montgomery County Fair, Mary Bullen of the Preble County Fair, Keith Sparks of the Putnam County Fair, Rodney Gilliland of the Seneca County Fair, Greg Kimball of the Tuscarawas County Fair, Jeffrey Harmon of the Wayne County Fair. Congratulations to each of our award winners today, and thank you for your service to your communities and to your local fairs.
Okay, Rod. Just stand by. We're in the middle of switching back to the podium.
Test, test.
Are you muted?
Test. That's where it's going through. It's not going through.
Okay, try it now.
You're still not muted, Dad.
Test, test.
Okay, now try.
Try it again.
Test. I heard the hum. Test. Test.
It's echoing
Test, test. Test, test. Everybody's muted.
Okay.
There.
Can you hear me now?
Nope.
Somebody wave if you can hear me. I can't see him.
Howard, you're gonna have to mute yourself.
I'm muted.
It's unmuted.
Y'all
Yeah.
want me to show you how to do this?
Now try it, Rodney.
I'll try.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Go with it, Rod. We can hear you.
All right, moving on in the program. Next up is the Prodigy Service of Prayer. Stanley Scruggs, second vice president of the Prayer.
Shows my name up there.
Co-host is not muted.
Yeah, mute somebody in here because it's not going right.
The call needs to mute.
Default, Charlie.
Kathleen, term members.
Hold up, hold up. It's echoing. You cannot hear me very well, Sam.
Is anyone else not muted in here?
Okay, right now. Kathleen, term members.
Still echoing?
Who just talked? I can hear you. I cannot hear him.
You're connected to your iPad.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about now? Okay. All right. Those that have passed away this past year. Stan Wolskowski from Portage County. Jay Begg from Allen County. Dan Hartley from Ashland County. Keith Volpe from Cuyahoga County. Levon Wills from Defiance County. Larry Rector from Defiance County. Charles Swineford from Erie County. Robert McDowell from Erie County. Wayne Nidday from Gallia County. Sam Plants from Geauga County. James Grove from Highland County. Gerald Shorty Griswell from Marion County. Dave Berkman from Medina County. Jonah Atkins from Monroe County. Shane McGrew from Morgan County. William Bill Agan from Muskegon County. Leon Miller from Paulding County. Dan Mattis from Perry County. Bob Fout from Pike County. Do we have a moment of silence to remember these? Father, we just thank you for being here with us today. Lord, we just ask that you would be with the families of these lost Fair Board members. We appreciate their dedication to our affairs and the time that they spent and the labor that they put in. We ask that you would just give the strength to these families, Lord. And Father, we ask also that you would be with us here today as we conduct the business part of our Ohio Fair Managers Association. And Father, we ask that you would just be with each and every fair that's conducted this year, that we may have a safe and good fair. And Father, we ask these things in all things. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Stanley. Next up, we will have the roll call of Fair Board members. Howard Call, Executive Director.
Richard King, would you like to report the delegate count? Richard King, could you report the delegate count?
You got to unmute it.
I'm trying. Richard, you need that. There you go.
Okay, I got it now. At this time, I have 5 fairs that are not present. Cuyahoga, are you present? Got you. Jefferson. Knox. Logan. And Madison. Down to 4.
Okay. We'll come back to you after a little bit more program here. I know Jefferson was planning on having 2 people on for sure. So we'll come back and we'll check a little bit later.
Okay, thank you. Knox is present.
Richard, Madison is on. Knox is on. Who else? Jefferson and Logan are the only 2 we're missing. Okay, Jefferson is on. Debbie's on. What about Madison? Or I'm sorry, Logan. Christy, you on? Okay, that's the only one.
Type in Paul's name. They're not unmuted.
Yes.
Okay, you're good.
All right, moving on.
You can hear.
Yep.
Can you hear him, Teresa?
Can you hear?
All right, Howard. Next up, we've got the last annual meeting minutes from January of 2020.
I will be glad to read them, and how we'll do this is if you will raise your hand, we will recognize you as the county making the motion. The second hand up will be the county seconding the motion. So we have Tara Sheldon is making the motion. Is there a second? And Kim Myers from Lorraine County is a second, Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor of accepting the minutes from the last meeting, please signify by raising your hand. From what I can see, the motion passes. Next up on the agenda will be the financial report. Bob Dawson, Treasurer, Lake County.
Okay.
Lose a voice too? No, I lost your presentation. Okay, you gonna look for it? All right, good afternoon, delegates and fair officers out there, directors, and all of our friends. We appreciate you being here today in these unusual times. Some of you may have, and Howard here is going to put up our traditional 2-year statement of condition for the OFMA. As it goes up here, I would remind you that, our fiscal year runs through June 30th each year. And if you look at the right-hand column, here we go. If you look at the far right-hand column, that's the last fiscal year that ended this past June 30th. If you make your way down to the very bottom of the page, which is usually where I go, you'll see at the June 30th of 19, we had $135,000 on hand. June 30th of 20, $105,000. So that's a reduction of $30,000. And I don't like to oversimplify these things, but this is a summary report. And what I would draw your attention to in the year ending June 30th of 20 is that normally in the spring, we were receiving a large stipend from the Ohio Exposition and Ohio State Fair to cover our junior fair day. And that, because the pandemic hit, they were unable to make that contribution. So that was the most significant change, reduction in the revenue side of things. And down on expenses, most things are in line there. One investment that we had made that we had committed to and started prior to all the ruckus coming around in March was a rework of our way there. We spent substantially more than the prior year. So when you have a revenue item down 20,000, you have an expense that's up 10,000. That's, my good friend Dick Park will say, that's 30,000 American dollars. So that's the biggest difference in that. We're still very comfortable with the $105,000 when we look at it back to June 30th. This is all wrapped up. The 990's been filed. If you're interested in it, you can visit on the OFMA website. And we've also timely filed our Ohio nonprofit registration, which we have to do each year. So that takes us through last June 30th. With everything that's occurred, I would like to just very briefly report on, summarize for you where we stand today. So this year, we first made a budget back in May to take effect July 1st of 20. And then, of course, with everything that happened, we revised it another time when we were planning on a smaller and partial convention in Columbus. And of course, that had to be canceled totally here at the beginning of December. And we've not made a third budget. But what I can tell you is, as you looked at the revenues that totaled the prior 2 years, in 19, we had $375,000 in total revenue for the year. This past year, closing $343,000. What I'm projecting now is that our revenues for this current year that we're in right now are probably going to be more like $100,000 plus or minus. And that number is still evolving a little bit primarily because our associate memberships are still coming in and there's things going on with the raffle and such right now. But I would say around 100,000 plus or minus. I think we've done a really good job of hunkering down on the expense side of things. And if I had to make a projection, I would say we will come in somewhere between $100,000 and $125,000. So I think the worst scenario is going to be, we're going to come up short on revenues covering expenses, you're say around $25,000 with a balance of going into next year on July 1st of $80,000, which, considering everything we've been through, I think is a pretty darn good position. We've talked about this meeting. The board reviews it quarterly. We've discussed it many years, but we've consciously and constructively built up and then maintained a solid contingency balance, just as a basic principle of good finances here at the OFMA. But we knew that someday, you prepare for that, because someday we might face a financial challenge that you're unable to plan for. Well, the year's this year, and obviously we had no idea that it might be in the form of a pandemic, but I have to say that our planning is certainly, our past planning is certainly now helping us to weather through the current situation. Many fairs have already paid their dues. I know there's dues stuck in the mail with the issues the Postal Service is having. And if you haven't paid those dues, we're asking you to consider that with your board and send them in. We'd like to maintain our record of having 100% fair membership going forward. I have to give special thanks to our sponsors. Our sponsorship committee's done a great job of adapting this year's sponsorship opportunities to the situation. And you can tell from the program you received and a lot of the announcements that are being made this weekend that Howard's doing a great job to promote those sponsors in order to show them the appreciation they deserve. I believe that last report, as recently as yesterday, that number is approaching $17,000, which to me is just phenomenal under the circumstances. I also know that Howard and Teresa are assertively reaching out to our associate members to solicit their support. Several of our associate memberships are engaging and paying their dues, despite the fact that many of them lost their entire season last year. So thank you to them. And I think it's important that we thank everyone that sold and purchased raffle tickets last night. I mean, I congratulate last night's big winner, David Drake. Has done a lot for both organizations over the years. So congratulations, David, if you're on. The raffle proceeds are going to be especially important line item to our budget this year. And finally, thanks to the districts, the fairs, the individuals that donated auction prizes. You've got a couple more days left on that. We hope that you'll go out to Breeders' World site, support us where you can. So considering everything that's going on, I think the support that we're receiving is amazing. So I thank you for that. We're in a solid position under the circumstances, and take care of business at home, and the OFMA will be fine. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Bob. We appreciate that. Next up, we have the program report and long-range planning. Paul Harris, First Vice President, Geauga County. Oh, I'm sorry. I need a recommendation to approve the financial report. Raise your hand, please. I got Jeff Armentrout from what fair, Jeff? Anyone know where Jeff Armentrout's from? Okay, I got All Glaze County Fair Board. Motion to accept. Need a second.
Guernsey County seconded.
I got Fairfield County. Jim Marcinko. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion passed. Thank you. Now, program report and the long-range planning. Paul Harris, First Vice President, the great Geauga County.
Well, thank you, folks. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. As you can see, when we have to bring my computer in to get things going, we're in trouble. So we haven't had to get my flip phone up here yet to get things going. So we're in pretty good shape there. I'd like to thank Summit County today for hosting us down here today. They put on these activities last night and again today. And despite the trouble we're having here, you guys got to understand and you got to know there's a host of people in the background here that are working like crazy on your behalf, trying to get this off and trying to meet our requirements as we move through this. Also, I'd like to say that OFMA, this board of directors and these district directors and directors at large out there have been working diligently this past season. They work every day from the crack of dawn till dusk and often through the night. They've worked to try and keep these fairs alive and keep the things going. I know the question's been posed here just recently, you know, what we're looking at and what's OFMA done for us. And I think if you look at your bank account alone, I think you'll see with an example of what they've done for you. I know in Geauga County, we're an example. I mean, we're $100,000 ahead, and it's been because of the efforts from the Ohio Fair managers. So I think we owe them a tremendous amount of thanks. In regards to the program, obviously, we were just like fairs were this year. We put together 4 or 5 different plans, and every time we get a plan together and think we're moving forward with the program, we'd have to change it. And so I think what we're stuck with here in the latest round is actually going to be pretty successful. If you'll notice, it's on the website, it's on the newsletter that went out, but we've got sessions scheduled for every Tuesday. There'll be Zoom sessions. We've had a couple already. You know, we had one this morning on how you base your decisions from last year. We've got several coming up. Dr. Forshey did one last week. I think the 12th is the next round here. We do House Bill 665 review on that one. And then the following week on the 19th, Mr. Dawson has a CPA coming in to talk about the CARES Act money and funding and stuff. When we started this portion of the program on these Tuesdays, we just kept it one day on purpose and repetitively on that day so that it would be a constant reminder, as always, each week. That's when the program topic would be. But these will be recorded and then uploaded to our YouTube channel on the website. So by all means, please get out and subscribe to that YouTube channel as well. The more subscribers we get, the more flexibility we have with that YouTube channel and what we can do with it. So if you haven't subscribed with and get that taken care of. But when we started these topics, you know, we had just a couple topics. We figured we'd run through January and just into February. And as of right now, we're booked clear through March on Tuesdays. And I think that topics are going to spin off of these topics. And I think this is something we can do, you know, as we move forward, maybe all year long. If we want to, we can continue to do things and stay in touch this way as things change. Obviously, 21 is going to be a challenge, the same as 20 was. In regards to the long range planning portion of what we're doing, we've been focused on the changes in the Red Book, and that's where we're at with House Bill 665. We've been focused on those for better than 2 years now. We still have quite a few rule changes. You know, we addressed those rule changes with the Department of Agriculture at the same time we started the legislative changes. Obviously, we got nowhere with the rule changes in the Ohio Department of Agriculture. So we need to regroup now and go back at it. I guess as far as the long-term plan, though, we can put it into perspective by whether this glass is half full or half empty. And I think it's in our best perspective to consider this glass half full and keep trying to move forward, trying to do what we can and trying to help out for fairs. So with that, that's the end of my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Paul. Next up, we have the Hall of Fame presentations. Brad Kazenza, District 4 Director from Ross County. You there, Brad?
He's gone. That's it. He was on.
I just asked him to unmute.
Is he on?
Brad DeVolt?
No. Is it Brad Cosenza?
No, he's not on.
He's not on. Oh, he's gone. Brad, can you unmute?
There he goes. Brad, can you unmute yourself? There you go.
Can you hear me now?
We don't hear you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hear me now? Yes?
Yeah, Brad, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I had a message here that said the host would not allow me to unmute. So, but I'm unmuted now, I guess. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being on this call. It was my distinct pleasure to serve as the chairman of the Hall of Fame and Communications Award Committee. We had a great committee that reviewed all these wonderful submissions. I want to thank all the fairs that submitted both communications and Hall of Fame submittals. There's some wonderful people out there in Fairland, and it's always tough to choose these. But I think we have 3 really great folks today. So the winners of the Hall of Fame this year are 3. From Ashland County Fair, Dr. Donald R. Kaser. From the Medina County Fair, Charles Chuck Stiver. And from the Allen County Fair, Mr. J. Begg. I believe we're going to see some a video from about each of these folks.
Why is there?
Go ahead and ask. Okay, that's structure.
You're muted now.
I'm trying to get the videos right.
It is with great pleasure on behalf of the directors of the.
You guys see the video?
Can you see?
You have to share your screen.
Okay. Okay, we lost internet service, so we're rebooting the system. So stand by. Okay, just a minute. Okay, I asked him to unmute.
I did not. There you go.
Okay, Amanda, she can, Amanda, she's ready.
What's that, Howard?
Amanda.
All right, technical difficulties again. So if we move forward, I'm going to go to the legislative report. Amanda signs, government advantage. And I want to personally thank Amanda for everything that she has worked on for us this year. It's just a huge plus. Amanda, are you there? Is she unmuted?
Yeah, go ahead, see if she's on.
Okay.
Amanda, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Great. Yeah, it said I have to get permission from Howard to get unmuted. So thank you everyone for being here today and rolling with the punches as you have done all through 2020. So continuing to do that into 2021. Hopefully things return to normal here pretty soon. Those that might not know me, I'm Amanda Signs, and I am your eyes and ears at the Ohio State House and work with the Ohio Legislature on your behalf. Want to update you on a few things that happened in 2020 that I think are positive. As was alluded to earlier, House Bill 665, which is the Red Book legislation that we worked on with the Long-Term Planning Committee, as well as the Department of Agriculture. That bill did pass the House and the Senate before they adjourned their legislative session for the year. And it is on the governor's desk waiting for his action on that. So the bill was delivered to him on the last day of the year, December 31st. And then the governor has 10 days to either sign a bill, veto a bill, or let it become law without signature. So by my calculations, that 10 days doesn't count Sundays. So we're looking at Tuesday, we'll have definitive idea of what's going to happen with that. Coincidentally, we also have the in-depth session on House Bill 665 on Tuesday morning. So hopefully you'll join for that to learn a little bit more about what all is in the bill. The other bill that we worked on was Senate Bill 375. And what that bill did was repealed the junior fare only order that was in effect during 2020 and formalized the task force to come up with the protocols for this coming season for fairs, casting a wider net of interested parties that get to serve on that task force. And again, that bill is also awaiting action from the governor. And again, by my calculations, he has until Monday to act on that bill because that bill went to his desk one day before House Bill 665. Another bill that we were really pleased to see the legislature enact was House Bill 606, which is the COVID liability protection bill. And what that does is basically says if you have your county fair this year and somebody were to later test positive for COVID, they can't come back and say that the fair was responsible for that as long as you were doing your best to do risk mitigation and put on a safe fair, which we know you all do. So those protections are in effect until September 30th of 2021. So it is going to cover the lion's share of the fair season for 2021. The other thing we know that is important to your fair boards is the ability to legally continue to meet virtually and on platforms like Zoom and GoToMeetings. That ability, since you are a public body, you have to comply with open meetings and public records and those types of things. So the legislature did enact the ability for fair boards and other public bodies to meet virtually, and that is through July 1st of 2021. So as you're planning for your upcoming fair, you are able to utilize these virtual formats and still be in compliance with the open meeting laws, as long as you're providing the same type of notice that you would for your in-person meetings. So those are the 4 things I wanted to highlight for you all. We are going into a new General Assembly in 2021. The new legislators were sworn into office on Monday, and they are still in their organizational period, figuring out their committee assignments and their session schedule. But we do know the first half of this year is really going to be focused on the budget, and also continuing to focus on relief from all of the COVID related implications. So we think that those will continue to be the hot topics. So appreciate being here this morning, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you on Tuesday morning again.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to roll the Hall of Fame, the 3 videos. Megan's working on it as we speak. Hold on a minute. Just a minute.
Yeah, but more. Let anyone share screens. Are you back on?
Yeah, we're back up.
Oh, well then you want to
Yeah,
load it?
yeah.
Here, click here.
Oh, I need the thumb drive back.
Oh, it's not on there.
No. Okay. Bev, why don't you go ahead and let's do the Queen report while we transfer the thumb drive here, and also introduce Mackenzie.
Okay, thanks, Howard. Welcome everybody to the meeting. I think this will be the first year in quite a few years, Howard, that I'm not going to cry when I have to switch queens. So we'll put that in the record book. The Queens Committee has been working real hard. We've had to back up and punt a couple times. We are going to try to hold the district queen selections, hopefully the end of February, 1st of March, before the spring meetings. That being said, we're staying in touch with the girls. Your current queen, Mackenzie Hogue, has done a great job of setting up some meetings with the girls, some Zoom meetings, keeping them informed on what's going on. So at this time, I'd like to introduce your 2020 Ohio Fairs Queen, Mackenzie Hogue from Montgomery County. Mackenzie, would you like to give the gallery some, I guess, a slight thing of how your year went and what you got to do, accomplish, and what you're looking forward to in the future, please? You may have to unmute her, Howard.
All right, can you hear me now, everyone? Wonderful. Okay, so hello, everyone. Like Bev said, I am the 2020 Ohio Fairs Queen, Mackenzie Hogue. I'm from Montgomery County. It's been a whirlwind of a year and a little bit like a lot of my friends are kind of poking fun at the fact that I may be the longest serving Ohio Fairs Queen, which I think is pretty incredible. But it's just a sign of the times and what is happening. This past year has been nothing short of exciting with its ups and downs as well. So we started off that fair season where I was going to Pickaway County. I'm very excited to see what they were doing with their fairs. And then as we went on through the fair season and finished off with Fairfield County, it was definitely 2 different experiences and environments that I was in. Because at Pickaway, I wasn't really required / needed a mask, but by the end of the whole entire experience, I was wearing a mask at every single fair, taking the necessary precautions. So it just shows you how adaptable and resilient our fair industry can truly be. throughout, after that, then we headed into the fall and did quite a few fall meetings. And then we headed into the bigger like district meetings like this past December. And then finally in December, I decided to hold kind of like a workshop for the queens and get them to understand the role and the job that is the Ohio Fairs Queen. And it was so incredible to be able to meet all those young ladies over that platform. Just talking about them, I get goosebumps because they are truly what is supposed to be a leader and a true queen. All of them embody that already, because even though in this time where we're not expected all the glitz and glamour that we were beforehand, they are treating it like true champs. And I just really wanted to embody that in the rest of my time as queen as well. And I've truly just had a wonderful time. And thank you to all the fair directors and board members that I met throughout my fair season. Thank you for treating me as your own and as your family. And I'm really incredibly glad that I've been able to be introduced into this Ohio Fairs family. It's something that I will forever cherish and always remember. So thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie. As you can see, the maturity that comes after a year being thrown all these many different obstacles, it's just amazing. And I appreciate all the fairs that did submit their queen applications for the 2021 year. I appreciate Mackenzie taking the time to work with the girls, and we look forward to finishing this sometime early spring. Thanks, Howard.
Okay, we're going to try to run the videos now, so stand by. There you go.
Can you hear that?
You got to share the sound.
I won't let you do it. I'm tired. No, stop.
It is with great pleasure, on behalf of the directors of the Allen County Fair, to nominate Jay Begg to the Ohio Fair Managers Association Hall of Fame Class of 2000.
I have sound on this one. Oh.
For some reason.
And 21. Jay began his career in agriculture as a 4-H member at the Putnam County Fair, where he exhibited dairy cattle in the Columbus Grove Livestock.
Yeah.
It is with great pleasure, on behalf of the directors of the Allen County Fair, to nominate Jay Begg to the Ohio Fair Managers Association Hall of Fame Class of 2021. Jay began his career in agriculture as a 4-H member at the Putnam County Fair, where he exhibited dairy cattle in the Columbus Grove Livestock Club for 10 years. He was also active in the Allen County Dairy Service Unit, selling milk in the fair booth beginning at the age of 8 or 9, and later serving as treasurer of the organization. Jay's involvement with the Allen County Fair began with his children joining the Cairo Livestock 4-H Club. Soon after, he became a 4-H advisor and started the Rockport Ag 4-H Club and became an assistant superintendent of the beef department and board member. Jay served the Allen County Agricultural Society as a member of the Board of Directors beginning in 1987, where he served for 9 years, serving as director in charge of the harness racing and the beef department, as well as assistant junior fair director before becoming fair manager in 1995. During his first year as fair manager, Jay decided to bring the ticket sales to the administration building. After many years of concert ticket sales being sold in the youth activities building, Jay moved the ticket sales to accommodate the multiple phone lines needed to permit credit card sales and phone sales for the first time at the fair. For the next 17 years, Jay oversaw many improvements to the Allen County Fair. the expansion of the Junior Fair livestock campgrounds, installation of water and sewer to the concession campgrounds, building of the new livestock campgrounds restroom and shower facilities, the new rabbit barn and sheep barn, air conditioning added to the youth activities building, addition to the show arena by the Allen County Cattlemen's, the addition of the west parking lot behind Walmart with a new ticket gate entrance to the west side of the fairgrounds, to the newly constructed pavilion. A fair mascot, Maurice, was created for the first time in the history of the fair and to this day is a big part of the fair. A Walk of Honor brick project was created in the Grandstand Plaza to honor those individuals who have volunteered at the fair. Jay also started a beautification process at the fair to help improve the fairgrounds landscaping. To help raise scholarship money for junior fair kids, a Farmer of the Year award was created to help raise money for these individuals, allowing the Allen County Agricultural Society to award several $500 scholarships each year. Jay implemented the Junior Fair Photo ID program, allowing a more secure way for junior fair exhibitors to pick up their junior fair premiums with a photo ID and allow entry into the fair. Jay was also vital in keeping the Allen County Fair 4-H program here in Allen County by allowing the 4-H office to be relocated to the administration building on the fairgrounds when funding was cut by the Ohio State University Allen County Extension Office. It still operates from the fairgrounds today. Jay was also actively involved in implementing the Allen County Fair sponsorship packages that allow area businesses to also take part in supporting the Allen County Fair. A Wall of Fame was created on the west side of the grandstand, showcasing the top sponsors to the Allen County Fair each year. The Allen County Fair website, Twitter, and Facebook page were also created, and the fair became active in all social media. The Allen County Fair Agricultural Society Foundation was also created, a 501c3 tax-exempt charitable organization allowing individuals to bequest money to the foundation and support the fair and junior fair. After many years using the MarTech entry program, Jay switched to ShowWorks to allow the fair for the first time to take online entries for both open class and junior fair. In 2000, Jay created the Allen County Agricultural Society Hall of Fame to honor individuals for their years of service and dedication to the success of the Allen County Agricultural Society. In that same year, the marquee on State Route 309 and State Route 117 was replaced with a bigger lighted marquee, and a marquee sponsorship program with area businesses was created to help with the cost of the marquees. Jay also brought in many non-season events such as BMW Rally, the National Trappers Association, and the Red Power Roundup Show, while also continuing to work with the fair's annual events such as the Four-Wheel Jamboree, Ohio National Motorcycle Race, Tri-State Gun Show, Max's Flea Market, and Water Dog Races. Jay also served on many other committees during his time as fair manager, including executive, advisory, long-range planning, audit, budget and finance, concession, midway and rides, entertainment, building grounds and equipment, gate control, parking, security and safety, harness racing, publicity, advertising and promotions, personnel, parade, rent, scholarship, and junior fair livestock sale. During his time as fair manager, Jay also served on Lima Allen County Chamber of Commerce Board, the Rotary Club, Allen County Farm Bureau, Allen County Cattlemen's, Ohio Fair Managers Association Board of Directors, and was a graduate of the 1994 Allen Lima Leadership Class. Jay served on the Ohio Fair Managers Board of Directors for several years. Jay worked the annual convention in Columbus, doing workshops and supporting fairs across Ohio. Jay was a valuable part of the Allen County Agricultural Society for 26 years. He always led by example, by being actively involved in the day-to-day operations of the fair. He continued to contribute to the Allen County Fair through his position as Allen County Commissioner. His leadership and evolving idea of change for the betterment of the Allen County Fair has left a lasting legacy. Jay was inducted into the Allen County Fair Agricultural Society Hall of Fame in 2016. Jay is survived by his wife, Stephanie, and they have 3 children and 12 grandchildren. The Ohio Fair Managers Association is proud to induct Jay Begg posthumously for his support to Ohio fairs the Allen County Fair, and his Allen County community into the Ohio Fairs Hall of Fame class of 2021. It is with great pleasure on behalf of the directors of the Ashland County Fair to nominate Dr. Ronald R. Kaiser to the Ohio Fair Managers Association Hall of Fame class of 2021. Under his leadership, he provided capital improvements that still benefit fair attendees today. Kaiser was born and raised under the influence of the Ohio State Fair Dairy Program. The love of creatures was passed down by his father, the late Harold Kaiser, known for his excellent work. Harold's boy worked in the barns on the Ohio State Fairgrounds in Columbus, among the other numerous functions following in his father's steps. The influence of Dr. Donald R. Kaiser, DVM, the guardian for the comfort, health, and safety to all the animals of the Ashland County Fair, speaks volumes of this two-term president of the Ashland County Fair Board. Under his leadership, he provided capital improvements that still benefit fair attendees. In 1969, he began years of active work. In 1990, elected to serve the first of 2 years as the Fair Board president, fairground improvements as president included new restrooms with showers, upgrades on existing driveways, parking lot, show rings, roofing and ceiling upgrades, constructed the new poultry barn, and added office technology equipment. He served on many fair committees. Grade school children were offered a day at the fair as a continuing education program. He has 51 years as director at large. He was elected to the Hillsdale School Board from 1994 to 1999 and served 2 years as president. He donated vast amounts of work, time, and expertise to the dog shelter, the Humane Society, and as a 4-H advisor. He was awarded the 2011 4-H Meritorious Service. He was selected as the Fair's Director of the Year in 2013 and recognized at the Ohio Fair Managers Convention that year. Kaiser was awarded in 2009 as a true hero, as Mr. Hero, by the Ashland County Red Cross for his outstanding service. In 2011, the Ashland County 4-H Meritorious Service Award was the 2013 Outstanding Director of the Year and the 2019 Best of the Best, a local readership contest along with Dr. LaFavor for the clinic service. He remains an avid OSU Buckeye fan, enjoys working on his father's classic 1966 Mustang, his model train set, and continues learning new skills while assisting others to have healthy animals and pets. This easygoing, quiet-spoken, hard-working man, a dedicated lad at his father's heels, has become the self-same man. He had 6 children with wife Janie. She was a noticeably big influence and supporter with Dad and us kids and grandkids when it came to 4-H and FFA and the fair, said daughter. His grandchildren and great-grandchildren also share skills at the clinic, all of whom love animals. The Ohio Fair Managers Association is proud to induct Dr. Donald R. Kaiser, DVM, for his support to Ohio Fairs, the Ashland County Fair, and his community into the Ohio Fairs Hall of Fame, class of 2021. It is with great pleasure on behalf of the directors of the Medina County Fair to nominate Charles Chuck Stiver to the Ohio Fair Managers Association Hall of Fame class of 2021. Because of Chuck's bedrock gold standard principles, impeccable qualities, and his compassionate, hardworking nature, it is with great respect and honor that we forward Chuck Stiver for the OFMA Hall of Fame class of 2021. As a teenager, Chuck spent 2 years in FFA in Medina County. He showed a steer and a dairy steer during his fair years. Chuck graduated from The Ohio State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Agriculture Dairy Science. Chuck Stiver became a Medina County Fair Board Director in 1991. In his early years, he was an assistant on the Sheep Committee, Junior Fair Committee. He was the Junior Fair Committee chairman for 20 years, working with 4 different extension agents. Supporting documents submitted indicate that Chuck's fellow Fair Board members believe that the Medina County Junior Fair under Chuck's leadership is one of the finest in Ohio. Chuck has the qualities, leadership, and the fair-oriented mindset that every director should hope to possess. Chuck served as Fair Board president during the 2020 pandemic, and we could not have chosen a better man to lead us during these unknown times. He has held this position before for 3 years and vice president for 4 years. Chuck went above and beyond his position as director as well as president to make sure the Fair Board, junior fair exhibitors, volunteers, spectators, and more were welcome to our junior fair this year in a safe environment for all to enjoy. He worked countless hours on plans and alongside our health department and former OSU extension agent to make sure our plans were in place. Everyone understood their role of how they would be implemented as well as modifications if they were needed. Medina EMA Director Christina Fazio, in support of Chuck, wrote, "When our Fair Board met to determine the most responsible decision for Fair Week, it was hard for them to know how to proceed with so many things at stake. Chuck and the board had an exceedingly difficult role, as did all fairs across Ohio." Chuck has also been the chairman of our security committee for the last 17 years. During this time, he has partnered with Medina EMA to develop an extensive emergency action plan for all our safety services at the fair. Chuck and Medina EMA have even presented this program several times at the Ohio Fair Managers Convention. Chuck has shown great leadership, unselfishness to grow, and develop the Medina County Fair to the great fair that it is today. Chuck can be found on the grounds early in the morning and late at night, working closely with all sections of the fair. Chuck's love as an auctioneer will find him in the junior fair sale ring for 2 days selling, working buyers, and keeping the sale moving. It was at OSU that Chuck met his beloved Tammy, and they were married in 1981. Fast forward 39 years, we find Chuck and Tammy living on their farm in Homerville, Ohio. They are the proud parents of 2 grown children, Caleb, a director on the Medina County Fair Board, and Anna Marie, elementary teacher in Wadsworth, Ohio. The Ohio Fair Managers Association is proud to induct Charles Chuck Stiver for his support to Ohio Fairs, the Medina County Fair, and his community into the Ohio Fairs Hall of Fame class of 2021.
Brad, go ahead. No, it's Brad's turn.
What do I have, Howard?
Okay, we're gonna ask the 3 county fairs or if the awardee's on to speak for a couple minutes, and then you can recognize the communication awards.
Okay. Is someone on from Ashland County that would like to speak?
You have to raise your hand so I can unmute you. Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, Joyce, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Joyce, the publicist for Ashland County Fair, and I'm just really pleased to be able to announce that Doc was able to view this. In my understanding, he's a wonderful addition to our fairs and has been invaluable. And we want to also thank Dr. Christine Lefevre, for the assistance in helping to recognize her father. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anyone from Medina County Fair who would like to talk about Chuck Stiver?
I am unmuting Chuck right now.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Thank you, Howard. First of all, thank you. I'm honored and privileged to be selected to be inducted into the Ohio Fair Managers Hall of Fame. I consider it humbling because I know many of the men and women who have already been inducted Hall of Fame, some of which are on our board and some of which from OFMA I consider as mentors and friends and that have distinguished themselves in the fair business. So I am humbled by that.
I do have to take a minute and say thank you to a few people. First and foremost, I've been a director now for 30 years of my 40 years of married life. I want to thank my wife. She's here with me now as we sit through the presentation and meeting today. As you guys know, being a director takes a lot of time and commitment on behalf of not just you as a director, but also as your family. So I appreciate her support all those years. You know, my children have shown dairy cattle, and as they grew up in our fair, and she jumped in there many times in the wash rack when I was pulled away for other things. So I do appreciate all her work and hard work and dedication and support. Also want to thank my children. Having been a director for 30 years, my oldest is 26, so they've never known a time when I wasn't on the board. And we brought them up. We purposely involved them in the fair and our fair board. And I'll come back to that here in just a minute, but I appreciate their patience. It took a lot of work. I think two of my biggest honors, number one was when my daughter was elected and selected as our fair queen for Medina County and represented us at OFMA. I appreciate the board support as they gathered around her. We were privileged. She had the opportunity. She was the first runner-up several years ago in the OFMA Fair Queens competition. And that made a lot of memories for not only us as a family, but for us as a fair board. So we appreciate that. The second honor I've had was several years ago to see my son sworn in as a director to serve with me. And it's an honor and a privilege to have him there shoulder to shoulder working with our board members. The third thing I just want to mention is this. I want to thank our board of directors. I don't really consider this an individual honor. This is to represent the entire Medina County Fair Board. In Medina, we kind of have a saying that we're a family. You know, families also have their struggles from time to time. You know, we went through one of our toughest years as a board this last year, but we are a family that's so close that many of the directors, my children call them aunts, uncles, and a couple of them call them mom. So we are a family. We're a close group. I appreciate their support over the years. I appreciate what they do. So I hope they understand, especially those that are on today, that this I really consider this honor and privilege for them. This represents what they do as a board. I'm going to be a little bit personal for a minute. You know, sometimes over the years, I've looked back. I did exhibit as an FFA member in the Medina County Fair. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, sometimes I think folks look at us a little, and I know I'm speaking to a group here, like we're a little bit crazy, right? Fairs is what we do. We surround and immerse our family in fairs. You know, I've looked back over the years of why this fair has been so important to us as a family. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say many, many years ago, I grew up in a Baptist church and I really had not made much decisions on my faith. And I'm going to stop and not be too emotional about this. Haven't shared this with many over the years. I've shared my faith with a lot of you over the years and in my beliefs. I don't think anything happens by chance in life. I think God has a hand in it. My junior year in high school, we were exhibiting cattle at the fair. We were sleeping on a livestock trailer, hanging out with my buddies, like many of you did, and probably looking for some shenanigans to get into late at night. And I just happened to cross a church booth that was on the fairgrounds. And of course, the guy came out and said, "Hey, can I talk to you young men?" Got drawn into that booth, had a good discussion with that individual. And I'm proud to say that my church is still involved in that tent. That evening on the Medina County Fairgrounds was a defining moment in my life. I went in, I prayed, prayer of salvation, and gave my life to Christ that day. Went back to that livestock trailer, spent a lot of hours talking to my friends about that. So when I look back to the Medina County Fair, has a lot of meaning for me. And it goes back to that night kicking around the fairgrounds with a bunch of buddies covered in manure that changed my life drastically. So again, thank you all. I'm humbled and honored and privileged to be part of this group. So thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Chad Hughes, I'm going to recognize you. I've unmuted you. Go ahead, Chad.
Hi, Howard. Thanks so much. I've spoke with Stephanie, Jay's wife, and Brittany, and they were so honored that Jay was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. They're still going through some really hard times as we didn't lose him that long ago. But they were very excited that we as a state decided to honor him and all the work that he has done in Allen County and through fairs throughout the state of Ohio. We plan on honoring Jay sometime this spring at the fairgrounds. We have some plans and we're working with the family to create some sort of memorial for him at the Allen County Fairgrounds, because there was nothing that Jay loved more than the fair. So we're excited to honor him in that way at the fair. And we thank you guys for letting us honor Jay the way that he needed to be honored. He was a great man, worked with him many years, and he made quite a difference in our county.
You'll keep the OFMA involved in that planned celebration. We'd appreciate it. Thank you, Chad. Brad, back to you.
Okay, again, I want to thank everyone who sent in, who entered the communications awards. The plaques for first place and certificates for second place will be awarded at the spring meetings. The OFMA office in the coming weeks will produce a slideshow and links for all the entries and place it on the OFMA website. We want to thank Teresa Call, the president of Fairway Electric, for their Showman to Showman financial support this year's program. So I'm going to start with the small fairs. Small fair category 1 was approved health plan for fair. First place was Pickaway County Fair. Second place was the Coshocton County Fair. Category 2 for small fair was most unique COVID signage. First place was the Pickaway County Fair. Second place was the Barlow Independent Fair. Small fairs category 3, promotional video of a 2020 fair. Union County Fair is the first place winner. Category 4, COVID messaging signage, billboard, electronic signage for a small fair. First place, Lake County Fair. There was no second place submit. There was no other submittal. Small fair category 5, creative approach to hand washing stations. First place is Union County Fair. Second place is the Barlow Independent Fair. Newsletter for small fair. Let's see, there were no entries. Okay, let's go to the medium fairs. Category 1 again, approved health plan for fair. Hardin County Fair was the first place winner. Second place was the Summit County Fair. Medium fair, most unique COVID signage. First place was the Summit County Fair. Second place was the Hardin County Fair. Medium fair promotional video of 2020 fair. There was one submittal, and that was the Summit County Fair, first place. Category 4, COVID signage, billboard and electronic signage. First place, the Summit County Fair. Creative approach to hand washing stations for a medium fair. First place, Summit County Fair. Category 6, fair newsletter for a medium fair. First place is the Hardin County Fair. Finish up with the large fairs. Category 1, approved health plan for fair. Delaware County Fair, first place. Category 2, most unique COVID signage. First place is the Mercer County Fair. Second place is the Delaware County Fair. Category 3, promotional video for a 2020 fair. Mahoning County, first place. Mercer County, second place. Category 4, COVID signage, billboard and electronic signage. Cuyahoga County Fair, first place. Category 5, creative approach to hand washing stations. First place is the Delaware County Fair. Second is the Mercer County Fair. And last but not least, category 6, the fair newsletter. For large fair, first place Mercer County Fair. Second place Cuyahoga County Fair. Congratulations to all the fairs who submitted, and especially those who were lucky enough to be selected. Howard?
Yeah, I had an error on your sheet. Barlow Independent Fair had a second place seating. And again, I didn't get that to you. They called and we got it corrected. So their certificate will be available there. So I'm gonna turn this back over to Rod.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move forward with the program. We got one change here. I would like to, I see David Drake has made the call, president of the Greater Ohio Showmen's Association. David, do you have anything that you would like to add? Howard's trying to find you and unmute you, David.
Okay, David, you should be able to unmute yourself.
You're muted, Howard. David, you should be unmuted now.
No, he needs to unmute himself. Okay.
My phone was ringing and I'm sorry. Guys, it's been a meeting. It's been interesting. And we look forward to Greater Ohio Showmen's Association looks forward to positive 2021. And most ways we're excited, anxiously awaiting for Senate Bill 375 to come from the governor's office. Hopefully he will sign it or let it fly on its own. And we're diligently working with others, with the OFMA as well, to come up with strategies to enable all fairs and festivals and carnivals to open.
We lost David.
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you concluded?
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much concluded, Howard. But thank you guys, and you know, we've had a lot of troubled times. Hopefully, the water all gets smoother, and we all move forward.
Okay, I have Prowance unmuted.
Sorry?
I have Prowance unmuted.
Well, thank you, Howard, and thank you, all you Fair Board members. We appreciate being a part of this, and we too look forward to a much better 21. This will be our 89th season working in the Great Ohio Fairs, and we thank you for letting us be a part of that.
You're welcome, Billy. Thank you. Chad Hughes has raised his hand. Go ahead, Chad.
I can't get unmute. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, next up we have a couple committee reports. First, the Audit Committee, Mr. Tom Stocksdale, Worcester District 5 Director. Find you.
Okay, thanks, Rod. Welcome to everybody that's here. As you know, I guess we regret to say that because of the COVID orders to not meet and stay home, it was recommended and approved by the OFMA board to postpone the audit till such time it can be done safely, and that's what actually happened. In the meantime, the OFMA board continues to receive the regular financial reports from our treasurer, and we will perform the audit at the earliest possible time and report back to the delegates within the next very near future. So at this point, the audit is postponed for now, but we will get back to you shortly.
Is he done? Okay. I'm sorry, I can't hear on this computer, so I'm not sure when you're done. All right, the next committee we have is the Trade Show Marketplace. Mr. Tom Higbee, District 2 Director from Hancock County.
Mute yourself. I'm giving you the authority to do that. Tom? Tom?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I had to jump to another computer. That one there won't work. I want to thank everybody for taking their time out of their schedule today and participate in this. It was very disappointing not to have a convention this year. It is greatly disappointing not putting on a trade show. After being the chairman of that for several years, it really gets in your blood to work with everybody. And I got to take my hat off to all the associates and everybody that work with everybody. And I'd like to remind everybody that this is a team effort, regardless of which organization you're with. We're all in this together. We need to work together. And we have a magazine out that has all the associates in there, and the fair's got to keep that in mind. They're in the magazine, so we all need to work together and shop, and everything's in there for your convenience. Howard and Teresa has that magazine all put together, and it's there for you. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to call anybody on the trade show. If you need to get a hold of anybody, get a hold of David Drake or myself, and we'll get you lined up on where you have to go. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have the Junior Fair Committee, Roger Smith, District Director 6 from the Hartford Independent Fair. He's still muted. There.
That better? You hear me now? All right. The Junior Fair Conference this year, just like our OFMA convention, was quite a little bit different. But I want to say a big thank you to Lisa McCutcheon, Extension Educator in Licking County, and her colleagues for all the work that they put into putting together a program for the Junior Fair boards around the state. The gist of that program was that they had some discussion topics this morning, a 10 o'clock conference call, Zoom meeting that they had over 350 registrants for. And those topics were a range of things, from looking at what the Junior Fair members learned about themselves and about their fairs last year, and also about some other things that they could have or might have done. Then the other thing that's been done is that there's 23 video recordings that are on the Extension website for Junior Fair boards to use for training, and for personal development for the Junior Fair boards. And so looking forward to getting some feedback for that. But our Extension personnel around the state were so ready to step up and help out and put this together, and we do appreciate that. Also appreciate the support that all the fair boards around the state have given to the Junior Fair boards. And so we thank you for all of that, and we look forward to good things this year.
Thank you, Roger. Next up, we have the resolutions and recommendations. John Overmeyer, past president. And John, while you're on, can you go ahead and take care of the auction reverse raffle?
Very good. Thank you, Rod. And On behalf, Mr. Chairman, we have no resolutions or recommendations from the districts at this time. However, we would, as the OFMA board, would recommend to everybody that you work with your health departments and local administrators so that you are able to conduct your fairs this year. And please remember that the OFMA has many sources, and if you get into a situation, please feel free to contact any of the directors or the executive office. That's our report for the recommendations and resolutions. On behalf of the auction and the gala last night, I want to commend everybody. Ran through that in about an hour and 45 minutes. Fantastic job. A few people we want to thank, and I'm sure I'm going to forget a few of them, but we'll go ahead. Our IT specialists, we had Charles Call and Sam Sladek. Doing the clerking, we had Pam Harris, Angie Haseman, Teresa Durnick, Carol Bernard, Leanne Brush, Kathy Culligan, and Kathy Strom. Special thanks to Dan Bolton, the past president, for being the announcer on the program. Special thanks to the Summit County Fairgrounds for hosting the event. We also want to remind you that the auction is still going on. We have, I believe, 28 items for you to review. If you go to Final Drive Youth Auctions, Google that, and you'll come up. And if you haven't looked at it, please do so. If you'd like to register, it's very simple. Get your name, address in there, and go ahead and bid. The bidding will be open on Monday evening till 8 o'clock, just before the national championship game, which Ohio State is going to win. And I hope we're all happy with that. And I'd like to thank the Breeders' World, and that's Ron Honker and Stephanie Martin, who have diligently worked with us and provided the service for the use of it. As of right now, I totaled up just a minute ago, we're at about $3,600, and Howard's showing you the right now the items. You know, we're down. We normally run around 100 items that we either do a silent auction or take and have a live auction. So at 28 items, we are down quite extensively, but still at $3,600 is a great number. There's some items on there that have room to go. There's some unusual stuff there. There's a wine cooler there that we're showing you now. We've got a nice wrench set. That pewter offering is a really nice collectible set donated by Teresa Call. I think that's needs a little more work, folks. So get in there and take a look at that. We've got some jewelry, bracelets, some pottery and bakeware. Here's an unusual, back to the Delaware County Fair. That's a 6-day with all the races. And that's only right now at $125. That's a 6-person booth. And I think that's a lot of room to go yet. So jump in there. You can have a box seat for the entire racing season at the Delaware County Fair. You had the next item was the pit, the patio porch fire pit. Very unusual item. I think if you need to jump on that, you'd be very honored, I think, to have that. Your wine glass set. There's some wine and cheese basket available. Here's a nice 2-day stay at the lodge at the Geneva on the lake. Nice offering, way underpriced right now. Need to get in there, folks. 2 half gallons of maple syrup. Some more wine and cheese collection. And we've got some hats from Breeders' World. So on behalf of everybody with the gala and everybody that's worked, I want to sincerely thank you one and all. I thought it went very well last night, but I'd be looking forward to coming back and having a personal visit with all of you next year at the convention. Thank you all and have a safe and prosperous fair season.
There we go. All right. Next up, we have for the sponsorship committee, for Second Vice President Stanley Strobe from the Morgan County Fair.
Good afternoon again. I'm guessing Howard's got the sponsorship page up, and you can see that the sponsorship committee got together this year, and we had to do something a little bit different with the type of year we had. And believe me, I think everything would have been a whole lot easier if we could have just done all this in Columbus, but we were working through this. And as you can see, we have 4 different levels. We have the Showman of Showman, which is $3,000 and up, and then we have the Best of Show, the Grand Champion level, and the Blue Ribbon level. All these sponsors are very important to our organization. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to done quite as much as we've done this year. The total sponsorship was just at that $17,000 mark, and we appreciate each and every one of these guys. If you guys get the opportunity, please patronize these folks. They know that this industry is very important, and they're willing to sponsor us, even though they've all had a pretty tough year. So if you have the opportunity, sponsor or help these sponsors of ours. I would also like to thank the Summit County Fair Board for opening up their hall here for us today. In the group that's been behind the scenes working, we've kept a couple of them pretty busy. I'd also like to thank Bob Dawson, our treasurer, for his dedication to our organization, and Howard and Teresa Call for their dedication and all the work they've done. This has been a pretty difficult year, and Howard's been quite active on the phones and emails and stuff like that. I would also like to thank Amanda and her group for the time that she spent in these House bills and Senate that they've worked with. And I would like to put out a request that anybody that's able to and would like to sponsor, support the PAC. Amanda works out of our PAC fund. The revenue that she gets normally comes from our 50-50 drawings at our spring banquet and in the convention. And we wasn't able to have that this year. If you're able, please support the PAC. It's a very vital part of our organization also. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, I promise you, we're getting close. We're getting close. Is there any old business? Anybody have any old business? If you do so, raise your hand. I think Howard can see you.
In the meantime, why don't you let Tim give his report while I see if anyone's got their hand up.
Let who give a report?
Tim Massey.
About what? Oh, Tim Massey, you want to give a report on the PAC?
Yeah, can you hear me good? Do I need to get rid of my video? I'm good? Okay. As Stanley talked, our PAC fund has taken quite a hit this year without the convention. Basically, the last probably 5 years, we've had contributions of around $12,000, almost $12,500 from fundraising events and individual contributions. And in 2019, we actually received $12,790 total. In 2020, that fund has gone down to $7,240. And already this year, normally we would start out the year with convention fundraisers, the last 2 years of almost $7,000. This year, we're starting out with $0. And just let me give you basically a year balance for 2020. Our opening balance was $6,880.50. We had member contributions of $7,240. Through Amanda's efforts, and I want to take a moment here and express my gratitude and for all of Amanda's efforts. She does a heck of a job keeping us informed of important legislation and actions in Columbus that affect fairs day in and day out. She is on top of things. And as well, she's on top of all the different contributions to the individual representatives and Senate campaigns and fundraisers that she feels is necessary for the benefit of all of our fairs in the state of Ohio. So she's on top of everything, and we can't express how much gratitude and hard work that she does on behalf of fairs and the Ohio Fair Managers Association. So our contributions in 2020 almost numbered $12,000, which gave us a closing balance as at the end of the year of 2020 of $2,145. So we're really starting off the year about $6,000 or $7,000 lower than we normally do. So I guess we're probably going to be asking you as individuals to hopefully step up and contribute. If you have never contributed before, we appreciate you. We've always had probably 12, 15, or 20 individual contributions over the years. And then hopefully we will see everybody at spring meetings where we can get our fundraisers up and going again to help build that fund up. Because, and in the beginning, I never was a big PAC person, but through Amanda's educational efforts over the years, I can see that, it's one of the necessary things that we have to do in order to kind of, I guess, take care of those people who help take care of fairs day in and day out with the different legislation activities and things like that. So it is important part of our annual process that we need to do is to contribute to the PAC and have that PAC in turn contribute to those people who have been big fair supporters over the years. I think that's my report. So again, thanks to everybody. I'm glad everybody could join this afternoon. Congratulations to all the award winners there that was recognized previously. And again, thanks to Amanda and everybody for the heck of a job we've done throughout 2020 to make things happen, and look forward to seeing everybody in the spring in 21. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Any old business? Anybody think of anything?
I've given you the ability to unmute yourself so you can be recognized.
Any old business? Okay, I will move on to any new business. Anybody have any new business to bring in front of the board for the association? Okay, before I ask for an adjournment, I have a couple things. I would like to thank again Concessions by Cox, Charlie Cox, and the Pro-On Specialty Company, Bill and Anisha, for sponsoring today's meeting. I'd like to thank all the sponsors that are helping us to try to get through this time. I also would like to thank the Summit County Fair and the crew up here. They've put up with me last night and this afternoon. They're probably glad to see me go home, but I need all the help I can get on my computer, believe me. So with that being said, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Tim Myers.
Did you get it?
Yep. Tim Myers made the motion.
I can't hear you.
Jerry.
Oh, Kim Myers made the motion to adjourn, second by Richard King. Kim Meyer from Lorraine, Richard King from Wood. And that, all in favor, signify by raising your hand, and thank you. We got through it.